Hey everyone, in this video today I'm going to compare the TMNT franchise to Ghostbusters. First of all, let's look at the highest Rotten Tomatoes score for each franchise. When it comes to the 5 Ghostbusters movies, unsurprisingly that first film has the highest score, 95. And then when we look at the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles franchise, you have 7 movies right now. Mutant Mayhem has the highest score, 95%. So actually, for the first time in one of these videos, these two franchises are tied in one of the rounds. Next, we're going to look at the lowest Rotten Tomatoes score for each franchise. Right now, Frozen Empire has the lowest score when you look at Ghostbusters, 42%. With Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the third of those original 1990 movies, has the lowest score of only 19%. So Ghostbusters wins this round. Third round, let's look at the average score for each franchise. When it comes to Ghostbusters, it has an average of 65.8. When it comes to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, you have an average of 45.29. So Ghostbusters wins this round, and thus Ghostbusters is leading 2-0 right now. Fourth round, let's look at how much of a gap there is between the lowest and highest score. When it comes to Ghostbusters, 95 to 42. So there's a gap of 53 there. When it comes to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, lowest score 19, highest 95. That obviously is a bigger gap because you're talking about a gap of 76. So Ghostbusters again wins this round. So Ghostbusters has already won this debate, but let's look at my personal opinion. Which franchise do I prefer? When it comes to Ghostbusters, I haven't actually watched Ghostbusters 2, but I've heard about it as maybe not really interested in watching it because it feels like the movie is just a lesser version of that first film. Like it rehashes a lot of the stuff that was in first Ghostbusters, but not doing it as effectively as that first film did. Sure, it's nice to get another Ghostbusters film with our original 4 Ghostbusters actually in there together, but it seems to me like the movie's not really that good. I've seen the original Ghostbusters. It's an iconic classic, great movie with nice subtle humor in there with Bill Murray's deadpan reaction to things. Visuals are good. I like the story here. I like the design of the ghost. I like seeing Sigourney Weaver in the movie. When it comes to the 2016 Ghostbusters movie, I think it's interesting. This movie's so well known for being incredibly divisive, but it actually is fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. The score is 74%. That's a good score. Not a fantastic one, but good. It's almost certified fresh because it's only 1 point below 75. I think that the movie has entertaining moments in there. There's action that I enjoy, but also I think that the character played by Chris Hemsworth is just written to be such a doofus. He's written to be so stupid that I don't really enjoy his character that much. And there's also moments where the ladies are just screaming at each other. It's like, ooh, you're failing to understand what makes Ghostbusters work. It works when it's more subtle and not so in your face. So when you have one of the ladies saying, "Get out of my friend, ghost!" and then slaps her friend in the face. Like, oh, this is just too obvious. And I mean, when you get to the end and you have the villain's goal, what he's trying to do, you just feel like there were things cut out of the movie. I don't think the 2016 film works all that well, but I think there are certainly people that have overly hated this movie. When it comes to Afterlife and Frozen Empire, I like both of them. I think Afterlife has the most emotion to it out of all the Ghostbusters movies, and that makes a lot of sense given the tragic passing of the actor who played Egon Spengler. So Afterlife feels like it's a film made by people who were mourning the loss of that actor and so wanted to honor him. I think Afterlife does serve as a good tribute to his memory. I mean, yeah, the movie does feel pretty familiar. It does rehash things. It literally has the same villain in it from the original movie. So, okay, that might hold things back a bit, but I really enjoy Afterlife. I like the new characters we're introduced to. When it comes to Frozen Empire, it's frustrating, honestly, because I like that for the first time in any Ghostbusters movie, our Ghostbusters are together right from the beginning, out there in New York, hunting ghosts, rather than being divided or retired, anything like that. No, they're actually united right at the beginning. They're out there doing their job. I like that. Unlike all the previous movies, Frozen Empire actually expands the Ghostbusters lore and mythology. It does things are different. It actually establishes that one of our original Ghostbusters is now the guy who's bankrolling this organization. I like that we see technology has advanced. That was really refreshing for me, honestly, because if you look back at all the films that came out after the original, they're not really doing much different. You look at Afterlife 2016 remake and then the second movie, they're just like circling through a lot of the same stuff without really bringing in anything new. Frozen Empire does that, but it also feels like the script needed another someone else to look over it because there's a lot of characters in the movie and you feel like we could have cut a few characters out. Like, did we really need to have Lucky and Podcast come back? Also, it takes a good amount of time before you get to the actual Frozen Empire. So I think that the movie could have been better, but I also think that the Rotten Tomatoes score for it is too low. Like, I think the movie should be fresh on Rotten Tomatoes, frankly. Not like fresh by all that much, but I think it should be fresh. I think people have been overly criticizing it. So when it comes to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles franchise, I'm a fan of that 1990 movie. I think 42% is too low of a score. I don't get where that's coming from at all. I think the second film works as a fun popcorn movie. It's obviously not as good as the original film, but I enjoy it. I haven't seen the third of those original TMNT movies. I've seen the 2007 film. I actually like that one. I've seen the 2014 film. I'm not a fan of it. I think it really fails to understand what we actually want from a TMNT film. And I think Out of the Shadows was an improvement over the 2014 film. It feels a lot closer to what I want from a TMNT film. There's still issues here, but I actually enjoy it. And then when it comes to Mutant Mayhem, that's, I think, that's one of the best TMNT films, maybe the best. For me, it's right up there with that 1990 movie. So, which franchise do I like more than the other? When it comes to Ghostbusters, I like three out of the five movies. There's one of them I haven't seen. When it comes to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, there's also only one of them I haven't seen. When I look at the films I have seen, I enjoy four of them, and then I don't actually. Yeah, I like five of them. Mutant Mayhem, Out of the Shadows, 2007 film, and then the first two. Yeah, the only one I have seen which I don't like is the 2014 film. So actually, because of that, I have to say that these franchises are basically tied for me, honestly, because in both cases I've seen all the movies except one. Out of the films I have seen, there's one of them I don't like. So I guess it's a question of which film do I prefer? Ghostbusters 2016 or the 2014 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie? If I had to choose between the two, I think that I would frankly choose the 2016 Ghostbusters movie. I think at the end of the day, because it's more entertaining to me than TMNT 2014 is. I think 2014 film is a bigger example of just failing to understand what audiences actually want from the movie in that franchise. So I'm going to choose Ghostbusters actually over Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That'll be it for now.